Edo government to private school owners, no more 4-bedroom flat apartment for school again. Edo state government don tok say e dey committed to help improve the education for Edo. Christine Ekare, wey be the commissioner for communication and orientation, tok dis one on behalf of government after the executive council meeting on Wednesday for Government House, Benin City. Ekare con chook mouth on top the tori wey the private schools association put online about the government, say no be true, but dem no wan follow the reforms wey Obaseki administration dey put for ground on top education for Edo. Ekare, wey tok say the government don try their best to put the private schools in their plans, con still tok say all the ogbonge reforms government don put in place don make the state #1 for WAEC for the country.
And then in the last 24 hours or so, where I'm sure most of you here saw a viral video from a group purportedly saying they were members of the Private Schools Association. That video, we've investigated it, and the truth of the matter is, we are not really bothered about who did the video. But we need Edo people to know that whatever government is doing in the education sector is for not just the benefit of the parents, but benefit of all Edo people, especially our children, who we are proud to say that at least in this last WAEC examination, Edo State was tops as the best state in the WAEC result. Five credits, including maths and English, we had 92.8%. And this is as a result of the reforms which we have been doing in the education sector. But these reforms too cannot be holistic if it's restricted only to government schools or only government-controlled schools. So that is why we have also tried to bring the private schools into that same ecosystem so that the standard of education is uniform across the board.
Ekare Constian say make every private school for Edo register for the primary school and JSS3 exams, and any school wey no register before 28 December 2022, then go lock the school up.
One of these reforms, some of these scrupulous people, they are rejecting or fighting, and now making on substantiated claims, is that we have insisted that every private school must write primary 6 and the JSS exam, and for them to remain operational in Edo State. The primary 6 and the junior secondary school exams, what they call the BECE exams, for them to remain operational in Edo State. And because EDSG must be able to assess every learner to know if they meet the learning proficiency deadline. This we are doing, and we are telling them, we'll repeat it again, the deadline for this enrollment is December 30th, 2022. Learning proficiency, we cannot gamble with it. We cannot, because of political expediency, try to abandon it. We must make sure that every child at every stage, we can measure how well that child is doing. And that is why the education sector is very important to us. We are saying that these exams, which we have told the schools to enroll these kids for, are going to take place in the second term, which is March 2023, to give the Ministry of Education enough time to mark and place students in the next grade. We also understand that whenever there's going to be a reform, there's always a fight back, especially for those who have fraudulently benefited from the laxity of the previous regime. But this government means the best for our children. We want them to be able to learn, do their 3 hours at the right ages, so that we can all benefit from the skills that we acquire for a bigger and better society in future. We're also insisting that even though the examination will be in March next year, second term, every student must show up for third term in order to be awarded their certificates. This is a genuine interest of the government, because we want to make sure that by the time school is ending, all the kids know where they are when the school is starting the term after. The JSS exams will now be held in centers, designated and approved centers by the state, no longer those who have 4-bedroom flats that they've turned into schools and or business centers. Enrolling students for schools that are not registered will extract a ban on the offending private school. Student enrollment for primary 6 and JSS will count towards task review.
Neikare con tok say di government wan introduce biometrics and ID cards to check di number of children wey dey go school for Edo State. Con still tok say dem go enforce minimum school size for schools in Edo.
We are also introducing a biometric capturing of all students and issuance of student ID cards. This will help us to be able to plan for our children, whether they're in private schools or in government schools. We need to know how many of our kids are in school. We need to know where they are at all times, able to monitor their progress and monitor their development. But some of these private schools are fighting these reforms because they don't want people to know how many kids in their school. They don't want to pay the adequate fees for whatever needs to be taken care of. And the Edo State government is going to enforce a minimum land size for schools. A 4 flat is not a school. We are going to enforce a minimum land size. Majority of the private school owners are in agreement with us. The stakeholders in that industry are in agreement with us, and they are supporting the government very seriously. And the parents especially are happy about these things.
On top land grabbing matter, Neikare con still chook mouth tok say land grabbers still dey do pipo wayo for di land wey dem don demolish. E con beg Edo pipo make dem go Edo GIS to see say di land dem wan buy dem don register am.
We've had a lot of activities going on in the last few months. A lot of things going on in the land administration area, and we've carried on doing a lot of investigation and work there. And I'm sure very soon the government will begin the allocation of land in that area once the demarcations have been done. So we're very pleased to say that work is going on there very well. In the last few weeks or so, we're disappointed to hear that some people, as late as September, when this operation started, still went there to be buying land, even with all the destruction, all the demolition, all the enlightenment government put out. People were still duped into buying land in that area. This we know because we received. We keep inviting the victims or those involved in that area for meetings, and someone brought a document signed in September, a deed of transfer between a purported seller and a buyer. So we don't know why people keep falling into the same trap. So we want to repeat again that before you buy any land, especially here in Edo State, contact GIS, Edo GIS, and make sure the land is not encumbered in any way, both as government land or private land. And you must only buy land that is already registered. We have to keep repeating this for people to know that there are so many people out there that live on fraudulent issues. We're on that matter, and help desk has been set up. So those that need to contact the ministry or need information on this can all the time contact the help desk.
E con still present award wey di Nigeria Power Sector Awards 2022 con give Edo State government as the best state government for power sector for Naija.
This award here was given to Edo State government. I'm happy to inform you the Edo State government emerged as the best state government in the power sector at the inaugural edition of Nigeria Power Sector Awards, which took place on Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022, at the International Conference Center in Abuja. This was presented to us. I'm sure you all can give testimony on how well we have done in the planning of our energy infrastructure.
Oluwatobi Odeshola, TMC TV News. Make you remember, say your PVC na your power. No go sell your votes, give any politician or political party on election day.